Good morning, everyone. This is Christine Abrams from ComCore. Welcome. We are going to be starting at about 10:03 this morning. So before we start, we'd love to hear from you, where you're from. If you'd like to put that in chat so we can get the conversation going. Thank you, and we will see you at 10:03. And good morning. My name again is Christine Abrams. I'm the president and CEO of ComCore. Welcome. And it is my pleasure to kick off the program this morning with Bob Nelson from the Small Business Association. Bob?
Good morning, Christine, and good morning to all of the attendees at this event this morning. So my name is Bob Nelson. I'm the director of the SBA, the Small Business Administration, and I'm responsible for the delivery of the SBA's programs across the Commonwealth. And our mission is to help small businesses to start, grow, expand, and recover. And it's no secret that we have been working in overdrive over the last 19 months with helping small businesses with the recovery side, but certainly helping with the startups and the expansion. It's work that has always been happening, has happened during COVID in the pandemic. And, but, you know, Christine, it's so wonderful to be with you this morning and your team, and to announce the signing of our strategic alliance agreement between the two organizations. And you know, I certainly want to thank Eduardo Crespo, the CEO of Hispanic Market Solutions, who brought us together and introduced us several months back, which led to our discussions on ways to collaborate and partner, and what we can do to try to help build vibrant communities here in Massachusetts. And I know that that is a part of what Commonwealth Corp is all about, through your work on the labor side and workforce development, which is so critical at this point in time. I don't have to tell you, and I'm sure you'll mention this in your remarks, but you know, all of the audiences that I speak to lately, you know, workforce, finding workers, and the challenges that it presents. This is a constant theme that is at the top of all small businesses. And you know, across the country, there are 32.5 million small businesses. You know, here in Massachusetts, over 700,000 small businesses. Small businesses need skilled labor. They need workers. If we don't have the labor and the workforce, you know, these businesses aren't going to able to continue to grow. So the work that Commonwealth Corp does is extremely important, but I know our partnership and collaboration through this strategic alliance agreement is going to lead to a lot of different opportunities. for our small businesses. And I look at your background, Christine, and what you've done over your career. I know that this partnership is going to be very fruitful with your skills in leadership and collaboration and building partnerships. So what we're going to talk about today with this first session is resources to help small businesses. And, small businesses have been extremely hard hit over the COVID pandemic and this crisis. And, when you think of what the SBA has been able to do, and we're a small team as far as the SBA itself here in Massachusetts, including myself, 12 people. But when you think of the billions that we've been able to get out to Massachusetts small businesses through PPP loans and economic injury disaster loans, the RRF, that's the Restaurant Revitalization Grant Fund, the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant, but our regular loan programs, which had an amazing year last year. The government's fiscal year ended on September 30th. And so we're now officially in fiscal year 2022. And so again, I'm just excited to be here with all of you and look forward to building on the relationship and helping small businesses to grow with the help of both of our organizations. So Christine, I'll turn it back to you, but thank you again for your partnership. And folks, if you have questions about the SBA, we have folks that can help to me in the chat and to answer your questions. Anything that's on your mind, we're here as a resource. Don't be shy about reaching out to any of us. You have several members from my team that are part of this call today. So Norman Eng is our public affairs specialist. He's on. Lisa Gonzalez Welch, she's one of our economic development specialists. Nadine Boone is our assistant district director on business opportunity and does a lot of work and focus on the government contracting side. But we have SBA partners who are with us today. So I think this is going to be a robust hour. So fasten your seatbelt. So without any further delay, let me turn it back over to you, Christine.
Thank you, Bob. And I couldn't agree with you more. This is an incredibly important partnership for us as well. On behalf of ComCore, we are thrilled to partner with the Small Business Administration to help maintain and expand the business community, as you just discussed, here in Massachusetts, 700,000 strong. We also understand that the nation's economic impact is all built around small businesses. 99.5% of all businesses in Massachusetts qualify as small businesses, collectively employing 46% of the state's private workforce. Those are strong numbers and numbers that we need to make sure we are addressing and we're taking care of. We are living through unprecedented times, as Bob said, as multiple forces of change, whether it's COVID, demographics, technology, automation, globalization, are coming together in an unprecedented pace and scale. And the pandemic has exacerbated the inequalities in the workforce. For example, we know the current 12-month moving average unemployment rate for Latinos is 11.2%. For Blacks, it's 9.2%, compared to whites at 5.3%. We are focusing in on healing and supporting the small business communities, focusing specifically on those small minority and women-owned businesses that have had disproportionate impact of COVID, as well as the historical systemic inequalities of our underserved communities. In 2020, we served over 20,000 people, providing not just jobs, but pathways for economic sustainability. And we have spent most of the past year and a half meeting with organizations that represent the historically underserved communities, not just to tell them about ComCore, although that is an important message, but the most important message for us was really about listening and understanding barriers of access. This year, we have over 77 million in funding and want to make sure that we are serving and supporting those most significantly impacted. An example of how we responded to some of the feedback from these sessions is our Express program, and Kristen Rain is going to go into further detail in a few minutes. We met with a lot of different organizations, and what they told us is that it was hard for businesses, particularly the small and micro businesses, to afford some of these trainings. And it also that the access, it was difficult for them to access the programs. So we listened, we learned, we changed. And in July, we relaunched the entire program, giving 100% rebate to training costs for small and micro businesses. And we consider those businesses of employers of under 100 employees. And what we saw was a 400% increase. That just shows you that when you listen and you learn and adapt, we can open the barriers of access, but that's just the beginning. The problems we face are daunting, and we will not solve them alone. But I know that with partnerships like ours and others, we will solve them together. With ComCore and the SBA at your side, you can engage, you can train, you can promote and scale your workforce with certifications, mentorship opportunities, and so much more. This partnership is important now more than ever, as we unite state and federal resources that support for the betterment of the community at large. So again, my thanks to you for all you do. My thanks to all of you on our call today. And now I am pleased to pass it over to Kristen Rain, our Workforce Training Fund and Outreach Manager, who will give you a bit more detail on our Express program. So thank you.
Thanks, Christine. Good morning, everyone. So we're here to talk resources. And if you could go to the next slide. Oh, sorry. Pause. Nope, sorry, go back one. I apologize. So we're here to talk resources, and you may or may not be aware that Massachusetts has a program called the Workforce Training Fund, and it gives Massachusetts employers the money they need to train and upskill their incumbent workforce. Next slide. So the Express program is one of 2 grants available through the Workforce Training Fund, and it offers employers easy access to a wide variety of topics chosen from a training directory on our website, with new courses added all the time. And it's proven especially valuable for small businesses that might not be able to afford professional development or training on their own. So the Express program offers a full reimbursement on training for businesses with 100 or fewer employees, and a 50% reimbursement for those with over 100 employees. So the grant will pay up to $3,000 per person per course, and your organization, your business can apply as many times as you need to meet any ongoing or emerging needs, just not to exceed $30,000 reimbursement in a given year. Slide 4, please. So some of the most in-demand topics we've been seeing lately include supervisory skills training, courses like the role of the frontline leader, professional skills, things like time management, software training, everything from Excel to Zoom 101, and technical skills, blueprint reading, CNC machining, and then finally, training can lead to a professional certification. So for example, human resources or SHRM or network administration. Slide. So you can find more information on the Express program and the Workforce Training Fund program in general on our website, workforcetrainingfund.org. I also hold a series of regular info sessions that you can access under the events tab. And I look forward to answering any questions you might have in the chat, or you can reach me via email, krain@comcorp.org. It's now my pleasure to introduce Nadine Boone, Assistant District Director for Business Development at the U.S. Small Business Administration. Nadine?
Kristen, thank you. That was a wonderful and brief presentation. I was thinking I would like to take some of those courses. Good morning to you all again. I'm Nadine Boone with the United States Small Business Administration. I am the Assistant District Director for Business Development here in Massachusetts, and I like to call your SBA here in Massachusetts your SBA, because we work for all of you. We work for the taxpayers. Before I moderate this panel of resource partners, I am going to turn this over to Bob Nelson, our district director with the Massachusetts SBA, once again, for him to talk to you about the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, which is an opportunity for all small business owners and all eligible small business owners that may be ending in December, will be ending in December or sooner if funding is out. Bob?
Thanks, Nadine. So I'll be very quick, but Nadine asked me if I would just give a very brief overview of SBA's Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. This is the big push that we have going right now. So it's eligible for-profit businesses, for nonprofit entities. It is a 30-year fixed interest rate. It is a working capital loan to help get the small business working capital so that it could meet its obligations that it would have been able to meet had the disaster not occurred. And so what SBA is currently doing is we're offering loans up to $2 million, which is the statutory limit. Again, the interest rate is 3.75% for a for-profit entity, 2.75% for a nonprofit. A couple of the recent changes that were announced is small businesses can use the proceeds of the EIDLE loan to make prepayments on existing commercial debt. So if you have debt on your balance sheet, which is greater than a 3.75% interest rate, you really might want to start thinking about an SBA EIDLE loan, and you could replace that higher interest rate debt with an SBA EIDLE loan. But there's 24 months worth of deferments that are offered. There is a personal guarantee that is required when we're doing loans over 200,000. As far as collateral, we take a best available lien position on all business assets, and for loans over 500,000, if the business has real property, business real property. We're not taking houses, so I don't want people to be, not going for an EIDLE loan thinking that you might have to pledge your house. But if the business does have business real estate, we do take a best available position on the business real estate. But the EIDLE program, it does have an expiration of 12/31 of this year. We had been messaging that it needed to be totally approved and funded and closed by 12/31. SBA has recently announced that we are going to be able to process those after 12/31 as long as the application is in by 12/31. So, this is an opportunity. It is a wonderful loan program. The processing of these loans has been streamlined. So some of the early challenges that we have experienced, and you have to take into account that we've received over 20 million EIDLE applications since COVID started, which is absolutely amazing. But here in Massachusetts, over the past month, we've been able to help small businesses with another $300 million in EIDLE loans, over $5 billion total in EIDLE loans for Massachusetts small businesses. So again, Nadine, thank you for letting me just share quickly about the SBA EIDLE loan. You apply once for an EIDLE loan. So if you've applied, you can request an increase, but you don't make multiple applications. But if you haven't yet applied, go to sba.gov/disaster. That's where you'll find the link in order to apply for one of these. And again, this is the big thing that we want to make sure that all small businesses across the Commonwealth know about it. And so, the entire team here in Massachusetts is working hard to make sure that folks know about the opportunity and how this can help them with some working capital so that they can continue on. But it dovetails perfectly with workforce development and the efforts to try to build and find and train workers and diverse workforces, which is so critical. So Nadine, I'll put it back to you, but thank you.
Bob, thank you so very much. Again, I'm Nadine Boone with the United States Small Business Administration here in Massachusetts. And when you think about SBA, I want you to think about 3 C's, D, and E. 3 C's is for counseling, access to capital, contracting, disaster assistance, and exporting. And I'm going to moderate a panel this morning that is going to fall under that first C of counseling. We are going to talk with Nancy Girardi with the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center in the New England or Northeast District at Salem State University. We are going to talk with Peter Smith, who is in the with SCORE in the Southeast District of the Commonwealth. And we're going to talk with Lisa Welch, who is with the Small Business Administration. And she is going to talk about our Women Business Center, the Center for Women and Enterprise, because they did not have a representative. And so Lisa is going to speak for them today. And one of the reasons I asked Bob Nelson to talk about the economic injury disaster loan is because these counselors that you are going to hear from this morning are able to answer some of your questions and assist you with this application. So this was really, really relevant. I see in the chat where someone is asking the question about eligibility on the economic injury disaster loan. Please go to the SBA website /disaster, as Bob said, and look to see if you may be eligible if you're a small business owner. I want to start out with Nancy Girardi. And Nancy, if you would unmute yourself and if you would tell us about your organization at the Northeast SBDC and who you are and what you do with that organization.
Hi, can everybody hear me okay? If I can get a head nod, it's great. So my name is Nancy Girardi, and I'm the Regional Director for the Northeast MSBDC. Now you have to practice doing that, so try that, MSBDC, but that's for the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center. It does not roll off your tongue like SCORE, I admit that. But we are one of the 4 partners. SCORE is also a partner, and same with the Center for Women in Enterprise and VBOC. We're one of the 4 partners of the SBA, and what we do is we're here to help you from I've got an idea for a business all the way up through I've grown a business and I'm interested in selling it. So we provide one-to-one confidential advising in all aspects of your business and its growth. We've had customers who have been clients, I'm sorry, who have been clients of ours for like 10 years. So they stay with us, they come to us with problems. Can I just say one thing? I think Kristen Rain, I think that's fantastic. I was on a panel yesterday and we were talking all about hiring employees because so many small businesses are having problems. And after an hour conversation, what we decided, it's really employers have to adapt to the new work environment more than the employee has to adapt to it. So I think that the training is fantastic because one of the things that employees are looking for is training from their employers. So I'm really excited to pass that information on to our clients. Thank you.
You're on mute, Nancy. Nadine.
Thank you. Peter, would you talk to us about SCORE? Would you tell us who you are? Tell us about SCORE and why SCORE is relevant from conception of thinking about starting a small business right down to succession when you may have succeeded in that small business for years and now you want to sell it.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Nadine. Glad to be part of the panel today. And yeah, Peter Smith, I'm a co-chair of the Southeast Massachusetts chapter of SCORE, and we're also partners with SBA. And I'm one of 6 chapters in Massachusetts, so we're well covered throughout the state, and we've been around since 1964. And in my chapter alone, I've got 50 volunteer professionals that are here to foster vibrant small business communities, and really through mentoring and education. So there's 3 pillars to what we provide small businesses. It is free and confidential mentoring. It's also webinars where we provide, our chapter alone provides up to 4 webinars a month, and then also a library of resources on score.org. So those are some of the services that we provide. And as you mentioned, Nadine, we're in it for the life of the business. So if you're at the phase where you're just an entrepreneur looking to start a business and you want some help defining their idea or building a business plan or obtaining financing, we can help there. Or if you're trying to start it up and just trying to manage the finances in the early stages, we can help there as well. And then also, if you're an established business, maybe you're having some challenges or you're looking to get some availability of some of the federal and state programs, we can help navigate that. And then also, if you're in the process of transitioning your business, trying to wind down a business, trying to determine some ways of accomplishing that, we can help in that area as well.
Peter, thank you very much. Lisa?
Yes.
Lisa Welch, I know you're not with CWE, the Center for Women in Enterprise, but you are the contractors officers representative for that organization. So we've asked if you would talk about our Women Business Center, who they are, and how they are able to help our entrepreneurs.
Sure. Thanks, Nadine. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lisa Gonzalez Welch. I'm one of a team with Nadine and Bob, one of a team of 12 under Bob's leadership. And I'm not only an economic development specialist marketing our programs and services, but I'm fortunate enough to be the Women's Business Ownership Representative for Massachusetts SBA and the District Office Technical Representative, which means that I oversee our Women's Business Center. So let me share with you a little bit about our Women's Business Center. So the Women's Business Center are really a part of a national network of entrepreneurship centers throughout the United States and its territories. And they were really put there to design to assist women in starting and growing a small business. Under the WBCs, they seek to level the playing field for women entrepreneurs who still face a unique obstacle in the business world. There's presently about 127 women's business centers across the country. We're very fortunate here in Massachusetts to have two, and that is the Center for Women in Enterprise. We have one based out of Eastern Mass in Boston and one based out of Central Mass in Westboro. CWE's mission, the Center for Women in Enterprise mission, is an inclusive economic empowerment organization. They help women business owners and aspiring women entrepreneurs launch and grow their business by providing greater access to the resources, tools, and support that they need. So how can they help women entrepreneurs? Well, they provide education, training, technical assistance. They have a CPA, they have an attorney, they have networking events, they have online courses. They have a wealth of information no matter what stage of business, whether you're kind of thinking of something, whether you've kind of just launched something not too long ago, maybe you've been doing something for some time. In addition to that, they also help with contracting if you want to get into the contracting arena, especially doing business with the Fortune 500 companies. Although their focus is women, let me just stress they also help men. So all are welcome to reach out to the Center for Women in Enterprise to help you in any aspect of starting and operating your business. And one thing that I want to share is Nancy Girardi, and in addition to SCORE Peter and our VBOC, we all are part of the SBA family. They all are. So feel free to reach out to all of them. Don't feel that you have to pick and choose. They all, I'm a true believer, you can learn something from everyone. So reach out to them. I'm sure each and every one of them will have something to help you to get your business idea on the next level. So whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur in business or owner established business, CWE has workshops, webinars to help you on your journey. You can learn more about going to their website, and that is cweonline.org.
Lisa, thank you so very much. And especially thank you for including that men can attend the classes, trainings, webinars, seminars that is presented by the Women Business Center. When I came here from Metropolitan DC, I would say smart men also attend the Women Business Center presentations. So thank you so very much for that, and including how all of us are a family who are attempting to assist small business owners for successes. So Nancy, I'm going to come back to you and ask you, based on your clients, what's the level of enthusiasm for the recovery, and where do you perceive we are right about now what are we, almost 2 years into this, or a year and a half into this COVID-19 pandemic?
Sorry. It's just a blur, this whole pandemic. It's absolutely crazy. We have actually had quite a range of experiences for small businesses going through the pandemic. Of course, some of our clients did close and shut down, but we've also had many businesses that have opened through the pandemic, because I strongly believe that entrepreneurs, when a problem exists, they're the ones that find the solution. And can you come up with a bigger problem than what small businesses have had? So there were many solutions, and we've assisted in opening up many new businesses. And then some that have, that word pivot, I've pivoted so many times, we're just like those twirling dervishes or something at this point. But that pivoting, some of our small businesses, it forced them really to open their minds to communication, transportation, and technology. And it thrust them into an area that they might not have gone into had it not been for the pandemic. So we've had that experience. At this point, the problems that the majority of our clients are calling us about with problems are, of course, the supply chain and not being able to get the inventory that they need. And you know, I just stress all the time that people should have business lines of credit and to keep their inventories up. I know I'm back from the day in school where they talked about JIT, the just-in-time inventory system or non-inventory system. But in this case, we really did need people to stock up on goods so that they had things to sell. And the second one was finding good employees. And like I said, and Kristen is, her organization is going to be so helpful. But what we figured out with this millennial group, and if any of you are millennials and I'm wrong, please correct me, but they're looking for people to advance. They're looking for jobs that will give them advancement. They need recognition. I mean, I could be cocky and say that it has to do with getting an award at soccer for showing up, but I'm not going to. But I don't know. They need recognition and that support, this generation. They need flexibility and they need training. And so that was my notes from yesterday, and I just added Kristen's information in on it. So our clients, what we're seeing small businesses is they are surviving. They do have some problems. This is what happens. It's problem, solution, problem, solution. It's the supply chain and finding the employees. And when we get information, what we do is pass it on to all our clients to keep them informed as best as we can. I hope that answered the question, did it?
I think so. I certainly think so. Peter, would you tell us about your experiences and the current level of enthusiasm that you've experienced down in the Southeast part of the Commonwealth, and where you perceive we are right now during this COVID-19 pandemic?
Sure. Thanks, Nadine, for the question. No doubt in 2020, we saw a big surge of mentoring requests tied to the challenges with COVID. And we typically have 70 requests a month for mentoring with clients, and that jumped significantly last year. So we supported the clients with federal relief programs, helping them with PPP, with idle loans, with shuttered venue, and just debt relief issues. When we turned into 2021, we saw a change. And there's no doubt that there was more optimism, and a lot of the mentoring requests were to help businesses get started. And we've been doing a lot of that this year. And then without a doubt, as we've gone through the middle part of the year, kind of workforce issues, as Nancy said, and also, supply chain issues have been front and center. So optimism is up, but some challenges still remain.
Okay, thank you so very much. Nancy, Would you tell us what an organization like yours can do to support small businesses, especially right now, where we were just talking about the economic injury disaster loan, and I saw in the chat where someone was inquiring about eligibility?
Yes, I am so proud to say this. Our office, so the MSBDC did a fantastic job at helping people with and if I use all these acronyms, just let me know if I know the panel is going to know all these, but the PPP, the EIDL, the restaurant revitalization, the SVOG, our office did fantastic at helping people. And I'd like to say we actually have a person who I would consider an expert. And if you contact, I'm going to put in the chat, Caitlin Muldoon's name. She's our client service coordinator. She will set up an appointment with Rosa. And we just ran a workshop on it. We're so encouraging our clients to take advantage of the EIDL for the low interest rates, the terms, the deferment, everything that Bob talked about, and the opportunity, if you have a conventional loan, non-federal SBA backed loan, that you can refinance it in a way, you pay it off with the idle funds. But so the idle loans are very important. They're still available. We have a resident expert, Rosa, and I'll put Caitlin, the client service coordinator's contact information in the chat, and she will set you up right away with Rosa to get this going. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so very much. Peter, would you like to tell us how SCORE can support small businesses and continue onto the path to recovery and growth, especially with economic injury disaster loans and other programs, other SBA programs that you're assisting with? Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So without a doubt, in our chapter, Southeast Mass, we've got 50 executive professionals that got a great deal of experience with solving problems. And, so if you've got, typically a lot of our clients have cash flow problems, and we've got executives that have managed that with their prior employers, and bring just a wealth of experience to kind of sit down, listen, hear what the challenges are, and then help you put together a game plan. And we also have resources that are like Nancy, that are subject matter experts on some of the federal relief programs, and can match up our clients with those resources as well. But cash flow is a big issue right now with a lot of our clients, and helping them navigate that and put together a plan to get ahead of the game as far as that's concerned is number one.
Thanks so much. Lisa, I heard you say it earlier, but would you like to share how CWE can help our small business owners through this time of recovery and growth?
Sure. So in addition, the Center for Women in Enterprise, they brought in 2 CARES Act project managers to assist entrepreneurs impacted by the pandemic. So they have one based out of Eastern Mass, Beth Ann DeHaan, and they have one based out of Central Mass, Westboro, and that is Dawn. And they can assist entrepreneurs pivot the method that they conduct business. They can review their financials. They can help them in filling out applications for financing. So in addition to Nancy with the SBDC and Peter with SCORE, they're another great addition to help you. So reach out to any of our resource partners. They're all here to help. We're a team, as I stated, so don't feel like you have to pick and choose. We just want to make sure that everybody makes it through this little patch that we're going through right now.
Absolutely.
Lisa, thank you. Nancy, thank you. Peter, thank you. I put the Massachusetts SBA office website address in the chat. For all of these resource partners, Norman Ng, you see his name here, who is our public affairs specialist for the Massachusetts District Office, he assembles activities like this that are happening here in Massachusetts throughout the month. He has a calendar and a newsletter. So there's 2 pieces of information that you will get. unless there's press releases like this event where we are talking about our partnership that we are forming with Commonwealth Corp. And so all of these resource partners that we are talking to this morning, the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center, as Nancy said, there are 4 locations in the Commonwealth. And as Lisa said, there are 2 locations for the Center for Women in Enterprise. And as Peter indicated, there are 6 locations for SCORE. All of this information is compiled in those newsletters and calendars that Norman put together each month, along with a link to a registration with our partners for events like this. So we are going to hope that you will go to the Massachusetts SBA website, go to the bottom of the page, you'll see subscribe to our newsletter that is available there for you. And in that same area, you'll be able to see the last calendar and newsletter that was put together by Norman Ng. He's our public affairs specialist, and he makes us really look good. And then there's Bob Nelson, who is just one of the most awesome leaders in the world and such an advocate for small business owners. There are those who perceive when they pick up the phone or send an email to Bob that he can move and shake some things, and that is really, really true. And with that being said, I think we have about 4 more minutes. I want to know if Nancy, Peter, and Lisa or Bob Nelson have some words before I will turn this back over to Laura.
Sure, I'll, just in closing, Nadine, I just want to make sure everybody that's on this call recognizes that we're really here to help you, and we've got your back. A lot of small businesses, they struggle because everybody's the naysayer saying, why are you doing that? We're here to say, how can we help you? So myself, Nancy, and Lisa, we're the ones that have your back and just want to figure out how to make you successful.
I concur. That was very well said, Peter. Thank you so much.
Nadine, if I could, so Peter and Nancy, I'm not sure whether you can share any ideas as far as creative ways that small businesses are finding employees, trying to reach younger folks and getting them interested in different industries and working for different businesses, but also the problem and the challenges with our women, with childcare challenges and all of those things. So I know that's a big question, not a lot of time, but again, not sure if you have any thoughts on this, because I know that both of you meet a lot of small businesses and you help them and you hear directly from them as far as what they do and the suggestions that you give them.
Sure. So I was part of a think tank just yesterday on this very subject, and we broke employees down into groups, and I've been flipping my notebook around trying to find my notes from the meeting, but we broke them down into high school students, and the hours that they're available and what they're looking for in a part-time job. College students, they have a little bit more flexibility in their schedule and can go to school in the evening and do online, and what they're looking for. So they're looking to beef up a resume. We looked at caretakers, people who maybe have to be home after school to care for children. So they're looking for what traditionally was called mother's hours, but really that caretaker role. We also discussed that people who have served their time in the Office of Correction might be a resource of people you can go to look to fill positions. And then when we put these different groups together, what those groups were all looking for was opportunity for advancement, for the recognition, for the flexibility, and for the training. So I think, and I've hired 2 awesome people at our office, what I was really looking for was a personality type, because none of us are born knowing any particular skill. But if we're teachable, if we can learn, then the person that you hire, the person whom they are is the important thing, and then you can build on that. So at North Shore Community College, they asked me to be on a panel to talk about what students should learn going forward. And I can't express enough from my own experiences having a staff and everything is a good work ethic, to recognize that if this is your career choice that you want to, and you're going to stay, then of course do a great job. But if you're going to leave, how important your resume is, and a good work ethic and the ability to learn and be willing to train is really what people should be looking for when they hire employees. And then employees would have their own motivation for advancement, recognition, flexibility, and training. Did that answer the question? I think it did.
That was good, Nancy. And I'll just add on, what I, as far as SCORE is concerned, when we sit down with a client and help them think through this, I typically break it down into 3 buckets. 1 is the hiring piece, 2 is the developing piece, and then 3 is the retention piece. So, and, trying to develop a strategy with each of our clients that fits their business, because a landscaper that's trying to hire a workforce that is seasonal versus a restaurant owner, those are 2 different strategies that you're going to put together to hire, develop, and retain that workforce. So that's typically how we think about it, and putting together a unique strategy for each client is a great discussion topic.
No, that's perfect. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Lisa, is there anything more you would like to add?
I think that I would like to say that, information is power. So if you need assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to the Small Business Development Center, SCORE, the Women's Business Center, the VBOC. Let us know how we can be of help to you. Visit our website at sba.gov/MA. We're holding like 30 webinars a day. There's a lot going on. So there's a lot of information going on. And it would give you not only the opportunity to learn about a subject, but network with a room full of entrepreneurs. So, and also let us know how you're doing. We love success stories. So let us know how you're doing. We'd love to be able to someday brag about you.
Thank you, Lisa. That's great information. And every year the Small Business Administration has Small Business Week for those outstanding small businesses here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So to end with what Lisa just said about having the ability to brag about you, 1, depending on what your industry sector or what you're doing in small business, Norman Ng, again, as I mentioned, could very well contact you about a success story. And we would love for all of our small businesses in Massachusetts to strive to be the Small Business Person of the Year in one of somewhere between 12 and 15 categories. With that said, I'm going to turn this back over to Ms. Lara Rivera with Commonwealth Corp. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Nadine. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I am going to send every small business I know your way. This is just such a phenomenal suite of resources that we can use and implement just to help our community grow. And Bob Nelson started me on the right track, but I do have 1 or 2 questions leading in that same direction, which is what skills would you recommend that business leaders start investing in for themselves or for their employees right now? And those could be hard skills or soft skills. What are you seeing? And that's an up in the air. Anyone can answer that.
So I'll jump in and just say, I think you just start somewhere and put together a lifelong learning plan for yourself. And it could take you in any different direction, look at where your specific needs are, and then try to identify some training that fits those specific needs.
So the training that business owners might want and to help develop for their employees. Okay, not to go back too much, but I always think that business owners or the people, the entrepreneurs have the great ideas and they're creative and they develop and they think outside the box and they see a problem and they have a solution. And I think that's fantastic. But the part of owning a business, and Peter can concur on this, kind of is dry. It's the legal side, the accounting side, the banking, the insurance. I'll admit it, there's not a lot of sparkle to me. That's where I live, more drier side of it. So when a client comes in and they're very enthusiastic about their business and everything, I love to listen to it, and then I help walk them through more of the mundane stuff, to be honest. But what a lot of them do need help with is they don't have any accounting background or human resource, but payroll background. This week alone, I had three. So I don't know, a Wilder or the other advisors might have had more. 3 clients who came to us with concerns over payroll issues. So nobody's can do everything. So I think an important thing for small business owners to know your strengths, and you can outsource where you're not as strong, so you don't have any problems. So as far as, but that being said, a business owner should know where all their money's coming from and going, because it is their business. But do they have to actually sit down and produce a payroll? No. And so three this week came to me asking payroll advice. So that's something there should be an awareness to, maybe not the ins and outs, but a definite awareness to the money side of your business, not the fun, sparkly side, more of the boring money side.
Very good point. Thank you so much, both of you. And I have another quick question before we hop off today is, what would you recommend for organizations that are hoping to retain, their few employees? So we are always recommending professional development as an opportunity for like retention and engagement. But on top of that, or as an example of that, what else can organizations do to retain their employees?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that we talk to our clients about is developing a career roadmap for their workforce and helping them, trying to understand what their career needs are. Not everybody wants to advance into management positions, and understanding that an individual contributor also wants to have a career, and being able to map out that with them. And then also just making sure that from a compensation perspective that you're being smart about that and looking at the needs of your workforce from a compensation perspective.
Definitely, Peter's spot on that. We did have a list from yesterday saying advancement, but not everybody wants to advance. That's correct. Recognition was huge. The millennials today need recognition. They need that in order to fail and to grow within a business. They also expect some flexibility and training. But what some of my small business clients have told me is that when Costco, Walmart, Whole Foods, all those big companies are going to $15 an hour and all these benefits, that it's very hard for them to compete with the Walmarts, Costco, Amazon, Whole Foods, employers. So they've got to be a little bit creative about it, and maybe give an employee a little bit responsibility to let them succeed, like opening a shop or in the morning. So they go in and they're the ones responsible for opening, and then saying what a good job they did, and giving them responsibility to close up at night, and not, have them grow and show why that they are as a person doing a wonderful job, and that recognition. Because I can imagine those big shops like Costco, Whole Foods, Walmart, all those, they might be paying more in hourly wages, but maybe they don't have that owner recognizing what a great job an employee did as often as a small business can give. And from what we figured is that is what millennials need. So possibly that's something that can be considered. Maybe giving someone the bonus of taking a class with the workforce training funds, saying, you're doing a great job. How would you like to, prep the drawers for the, or whatever, for the cash registers? How would you like to do that? Would you like training on that or something? And that's, a big responsibility and recognition for the good work that the employer's thinking they're doing. That anyway, so, but Peter's correct. Every business is different. It really is. And that's why when people call and they say, what's the right thing to do? Thank God I have a background in law, because I go, it depends, but it's so true. Every business is different. And Peter and I and the SBA, all the partners are here to work with the business and to listen to them. We have no time constraints. We can listen to them and find out what they need and what, and then we just advise what would motivate their employees. And we are constantly educating ourselves on what's going on outside so that we can give them the information they need, like attending this training today and hearing all about all the different resources. And now we'll go forth and give that to our clients. So this is really great. But yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Nancy, Peter. Anything you want to add, Lisa, before I wrap up?
No, just thank you for joining us this morning, and please let us know if we can be of help to you.
Amazing. And so before you hop off this call, everyone, I just wanted to share a little bit about our upcoming session. The next session from this, the next part in the series is called Integrating Immigrants at All Levels of Your Organization. And we're going to be working with English for New Bostonians, and we're going to have speakers and panelists join us from Conexión, as well as World Education Services. So definitely join us on November 9th at 11 a.m. And please fill out the survey that you're going to receive, and it'll open up right after this webinar, letting us know what you thought about today's session, what you would like to learn more about, so that we can keep tailoring these to your needs. So thank you so much to all of our friends at the SBA and at the resource partners, and have a great rest of your day.